Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Grenada observes its 38th Thanksgiving Day. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Monday, 25th October 2021. Details when we return.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenelec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. When this day comes around every year since 1983, Grenadians are glad for yet another day off, as that's all it is to many of them. The significance of the day is never observed in the strictest sense of the word by this youthful nation, over 60% of whom were born after the fact. This in itself tells one of the priorities of all governments of the post-revolutionary period. No effort has been made to sensitize the nation to their rich history, ignoring the fact that a people who do not know their history are bound to repeat it. Interestingly, most to all of the allegations leveled against the then sitting Prime Minister Sir Eric Gairy to justify the Maurice Bishop and Bernard Coard-led March 13th, 1979 revolution have become true to the longest-serving post-independence and revolutionary administration. And not only is nothing done about them, but leading citizens could be seen supporting all the intransigencies. This cannot end well when one thinks of how real ignorance contributes to the repetition of unwelcomed historic events. When the revolutionary leadership absorbed itself in a climaxing event which saw the execution of Maurice Bishop and some of his close cabinet allies and other friends, 6 days later the United States government, on the invitation of the sub-regional heads led by Tom Adams of Barbados and Eugenia Charles of Dominica, staged a military intervention to bring back stability to Grenada and the region. Grenada would never be on a similar path to progress after that, as the vision of succeeding administrations under Westminster-style democracy proved opportunistic and vacuous. The results are clear today. Since our healthcare is in shambles, education at an all-time low, with students graduating from schools not being able to read and write properly, and our food security has almost disappeared with absolutely no attention paid to agriculture. It is now 38 years and continuing since the US-led military intervention, and this day is regarded as Thanksgiving Day, but probably the world's most uncelebrated Thanksgiving holiday. No wonder. In other news, Barbados' health minister defends new travel protocols during the pandemic in the middle of a spike in cases within communities. More in this Barbados Today news item.
It's a tough decision, but the right move. That's how Health and Wellness Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic describes the island's new travel protocols, which will allow vaccinated travelers with negative PCR test results on arrival to go straight to their homes or hotels without the need to be tested again or be quarantined. At a press conference this evening, Bostic acknowledged concern about the move, but armed with the data, he made clear that positive cases among travelers are low.
In August, we would have had about 18,000 persons visiting, and we had a positivity rate of persons with non-Barbadian ID cards, and that is how we identify those, and I will explain something about that, of less than 1%. In fact, 0.66%. Same thing, September and October, less than 1%. 0.53, 0.46%. That is what we have been seeing coming out of the travelers coming into Barbados. But even some of those cases are persons who actually reside here, who but who are non-nationals and do not carry Barbadian ID cards. Some of the cases are also travelers who would have tested positive for their departure test, or in other words, the test that they're required to get back into their country or to wherever else they're going on to. And interestingly enough, if you look at the number of positive cases that we've been having over the last 6 weeks or so, and you decided that you will utilize 1 day's result, I want to put it to you that 1 day's result of positive cases of the community transmission, persons who reside in Barbados, accounted for more than the total cases for 1 month of persons traveling into the country.
He stressed that the vast majority of positive cases on island are within communities, and government is shifting its resources to step up testing to arrest the current spike in COVID-19 cases.
31 years after he led a failed insurrection, Yassin Abu Bakr, leader of the Jamaat al-Muslimin, collapses at his home and dies. He was laid to rest within 24 hours in keeping with Muslim tradition, with a simple sermon at number 1 Mukarapo Road and a like burial at the Monroe Road Cemetery. Shitawari Rupnarayan of TV6 News reports.
The name Yassin Abu Bakr may forever be associated with one of the darkest periods in Trinidad and Tobago's history, the 1990 attempted coup. But for the hundreds gathered for his janazah at the Jamaat al-Muslimin Mukarapo Masjid, Imam Bakr died a hero and a leader. His was a simple life. Born Lennox Philip in the outskirts of Porto, Spain, Bakr attended the prestigious Queen's Royal College, then took up tertiary studies in Canada. He served as a police officer, number 6846 to be precise, with the TTPS for 10 years. Upon returning to Trinidad and Tobago in 1978, the converted Bakr founded the Jamaat al-Muslimin and took possession of the land at number 1 Mukarapo Road, where a masjid and a school stand today. In 1990, the Jamaat became the group behind the only Islamic revolt in the Western Hemisphere. 100 members stormed the Parliament building, taking Prime Minister A.N.R. Robinson and his cabinet hostage. 6 days of turmoil for the young republic left 24 dead. Bakr spent 2 years in jail and was later pardoned. He was awarded some $2.5 million for damage to property at number 1 Mukarapo Road when the army stormed on the night of July 27, 1990. In 2005, Bakr became the first person to be prosecuted under the Anti-Terrorism Act after delivering a seditious sermon. Later denying any involvement, his name came up in the 2011 conspiracy to launch a terrorist attack at the JFK International Airport. This, as trial evidence showed, conspirators attempted to enlist his support for the plot. Islam, being the Imam's religion of choice, allows 4 wives, and that was a badge the Imam wore proudly, speaking highly of his wives at public events, and they were always present at his court matters. Just a few days after celebrating his 80th birthday, the Imam collapsed at his home and died 1 day shy of the 1-year death anniversary of his first wife, Anisa, whom he called his rock. It's a simple ceremony today as the 80-year-old is laid to rest. His body is shrouded in 3 large white sheets. Men are aligned in rows, shoulder to shoulder, feet to feet. Silent prayers are recited and the takbirs shouted out loud by Bakr's son Fuad as they make supplications seeking forgiveness and mercy for their deceased leader.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
St. Lucia's former Prime Minister Alan Chasteny is non-committal regarding his future with the UWP. Speaking on a local radio program recently, he touched on his future in politics. More in this DBS News report.
The UWP's political leader, Alan Chasteny, says he is currently weighing his options when it comes to his political future. A recent guest on a local radio program, Chasteny was questioned about whether he would continue on with the party. That decision, says Chasteny, lies with the party, but at the same time, he too is mulling whether or not he will continue on, and if he does, what role he should play.
I am taking some time off to re-energize my batteries. I am also taking time off to give an internal discourse with myself as to how much more I have to give, because my party will go through a reflection. And I want to know that when it comes time to put the reflection in past and decide to move forward, what role I believe I can play. And I honestly believe, Champagne, that the term that globally that's used to describe an event that changes life forever is we call it a black swan event. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Peter.
Yeah.
Black swan event.
Black swan event, yeah.
So COVID is a black swan event. And things that we may have strongly believed in and hold as being true pre-COVID will not apply post-COVID. And so for me as an individual, I have to understand how those new thoughts and ideas apply to me and particularly my role in politics.
Leader of Guyana's opposition, Joseph Frederick Harman, who is also an executive member of the People's National Congress Reform PNCR, has launched his campaign to be the next leader of the party, as he touts that he has what it takes to unite the party and to return it and its coalition members to government. Find out more in this HGP Nightly News report with Wendell Badri.
And so tonight, I, Joseph Frederick Harman, do accept the challenge of being the leader of the People's National Congress Reform.
That was the current leader of the opposition, Joseph Harman, who is now vying for the leadership position of the party at its upcoming Congress, which is expected to be held sometime before the end of 2021. Preceding the speech from the opposition leader were a number of spokespersons, the likes of Attorney-at-Law Darren Wade, members of Parliament Annette Ferguson and Ronald Cox, among others who all pledged their support to Harman as the next leader of the party. The party candidate, during his address to the gathering at the launch, shared that he has a 10-point plan to fortify the party, which will also see its return to government, along with its coalition partners. The first of which is to unite the party, which he acknowledged is hemorrhaging as a result of factionalism.
I believe that as the first item on any agenda must be the healing of our party, must be bringing all the various little groups and factions together.
Harman further related to the gathering and those tuned into the live feed of the campaign launch that he, alongside a rebranded and re-energized PNC, will move the PPP government from office.
I want to send a very clear message to the PPP that your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. That the PNC regroup, re-energize, and strong under powerful and positive leadership, that we are going to get rid of you.
The prospective party leader indicated that his second-point plan for the strengthening of the party rests on reconnecting with its rich heritage, as it once did under its founder leader, Forbes Burnham, who showed exemplary leadership in that regard, having allied with several other Caribbean leaders to sign the Treaty of Chaguaramas, which later saw the establishment of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. He also highlighted education, stringent foreign relations, youth and women as part of the 10-point plan to restore the party to the throes of government.
And so when I speak about placing our party in a sound financial footing, this is what I mean. That every time it comes around to elections, we don't go cap in hand.
So far, it has been confirmed that party stalwarts, Dr. Richard Van West Charles and Aubrey Norton, have also thrown in their bid to become the next leader of the PNCR. While Whisper campaigns suggest that she might likely contend, the chairperson of the party, Dr. Valda Lawrence, has not yet confirmed whether she intends to do so. Joseph Harmon was born and raised in Port-Droin in the West Bank of Demerara before completing his law degree. Harmon served in the Ghana Defence Force for a number of years, having retired after attaining the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Wendell Badry, HGP Nightly News.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.